Join only 1 to 90 in this session. USN 1 to USN 90. Right. Good morning. It's audible. Please reply fast. Yeah, good morning. Other section, section A, is it audible? Yes, fine. So today we'll go with, last class I could not do the circular cues properly. Today we will go with the complete concept, step by step. So please be attentive in the class and attend completely. So anyhow, I will record the session. Please wait. The recording on. Okay. What do you mean by a circular cue? The first and the foremost concept, what do you mean by circular cue? So a normal cue, how it will be represented? A simple normal cue will be represented in a sequential manner. A simple normal cue represented in a simple manner. Right? Whereas a circular cue will be represented in a circular. What is the major difference between a simple cue and a circular cue? The last class also I have discussed about that. A simple cue and a circular cue, what is the major difference? Both A and B section. Simple and a circular cue, what is the major difference here? The last class also we discussed. Yes. Fast.
Reply fast. Are you audible or not?
Because this one more lab program is there for this. What is the difference between a circular queue and a normal queue? So both the queues we have a rear and the front ends. Both the queues normally we will be having a rear and a front ends. What is the major difference between a circular and a normal queue? That is my question now. What is the major difference between a circular queue and a normal queue? Yes, no reply. Okay, your wish. You cannot do anything. So it is a convention, the variable where front is changed and the front variable points to the counterclockwise in the counterclockwise from the location of the front. Always a circular queue. The convention of the rear end is unchanged. Can you see here? Initially, we have some of the data in the queues. So A, B, C, so already the data is present inside the queue. Whereas if you want to insert the data into the queue, we will be incrementing the rear end. So the rear end is incremented by 1 to insert the data. Here, the data D is inserted by incrementing the rear end. So if you want to delete the data from the queue, a front end is incremented, that data A is deleted from the queue. So this is about how we implement a circular queue's basic part. So what about this implementation part? What do you mean by this implementation part contains? And normally other queues, how you implemented? A normal queue, how we implemented. A previous queue also I explained a normal queue. So when an array is viewed as a circle, each array position has a next and a previous position. When an array is represented as a circle, each array contains a previous and the next position of a concerned queue. The position next may be the queue size minus 1. The position next what we have is, that is queue size minus 1, that is 0. Position precedes to 0 is maximum queue size minus 1. Okay, so when the queue rear is maximum queue size minus 1, the next element inserted at the position 0. So that insertion, I will show it in the next diagram. In circular queues, we have two common variables called front and the rear that are moved in their current positions with respect to clockwise direction only. So that's strictly we have mentioned that position in the circular queue will be always clockwise. It should not be any anti-clockwise directions. Okay, this may be done using the a simple code that will show it here. A simple code there. Rear is equal to max queue size minus 1. So here we have a simple circular queue. Yes. A simple circular queue. Here, if the rear equal to maximum queue size minus 1, consider a max is equal to 4. Here, max is given as 4, a queue index 0, 1, 2, and 3. So the total maximum size of the queue is 4. A total maximum size of the queue is 4. An index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the simple queue we have. If the rear equal to maximum queue size minus 1, if the rear equal to default rear and front will be -1 initially. This is a condition that I explained in the previous cases of the queue. When the very first step, both the rear should be implemented as well as front should be implemented. In the very first case, both rear and front must be incremented always. So after incrementing this rear and the front, so default both rear and front will be pointing to the first index array element. Here you can see to add an element, increment rear one position clockwise and insert at new position. Here a maximum queue size, I have mentioned it as 8, make it as 4. Since I have taken 4 there, 4 I have taken it as a maximum size. Elements are added into the queue that represented in a below figure. I show that diagram there. So here 8 we have taken for this. So whatever that I have drawn, for that I have taken 4. So whatever, see, don't be confused. Whatever the drawn data circular queue is there, that is of maximum size 4. Whatever the picture, it's already there in the document. For that we have given a maximum size as 8. So if you want to insert the data into the queue, a figure A that is shown here, a rear end. Can you see this? Rear end is at the end of the queue, right? A rear end is at end of the queue. Well, what about front end? What about the front end? Yes? Reply fast. Rear end is at end of the queue. What about the front end? Are you attentive in the class or not? At 0. Why? Initial increment beginning. Yes. At 0 beginning. Initially, at the first iteration, when we are inserting any data into the queue, maybe a circular, maybe a double-ended, or maybe a normal linear queue, default always front and rear, we will going to position it to -1. While inserting the first element into the data, that is a queue, so both front and rear has to be incremented. As I told earlier, both and front and rear will going to point it to the 0th position. By keep on inserting the data into the queue, the complete queue will be filled over there. After filling the data, queue is at maximum size now. So now if you check the condition, so is rear equal to maximum size -1. So it is equal to 7, right? So rear is at 7th position. So at end of the queue, that is queue full, right? So second diagram, what we have shown here, diagram number 2. So we have deleted one item from the queue. So how do we delete the item from the queue? How we can delete an item from the queue? Yes. Deleting item from queue, how is possible? Increasing the front value. Only Usha Bhatia, Prakriti, and so on. They are incrementing the front value, the index 0. We will going to delete the element from the queue, right? So this is a second iteration, deleting an element from the queue by incrementing the front by 1 position. Element A is deleted from the queue. A complete description. After the class, I will share this document in the ByGod link. Previous class data also, drawback of the queue, and the next, the implementation of circular queue. Both I will attach it there. These are all second assignment questions. Parallelly, you can start writing that also. Okay. So deleted from the queue, if we perform 6 deletions from the queue, if you perform a 6 deletions from the queue, a figure B in this fashion becomes empty. Both front and rear will become a complete empty. If you delete a complete 6 elements from the queue, so both the elements of the queue completely becomes empty. If the element I is added, See, consider after deleting it, if the element I is added, representation in the third figure, please see the representation in the third figure, figure number C there. If the element I is added into the Q as in figure C, then a rare needs to be incremented by 1, then the value of rare is 0. Since the Q is circular, the next position should be 0 instead of 8, right? So in a normal Q, consider in a normal Q 0 to 7, right? So rare is at this position, at 7th position, right? So if you insert the data again, increment rare r plus plus if you perform, that will be a 7 plus plus. 7 plus plus will be 8, right? According to the normal Q, 7 plus plus will be 8. So, but as for the circular Q, it has to re-rotate it to where? It should come back to what? 0. So this is how this disadvantage of the normal Q that we have overcome here, that rotated it to 0. So this a normal end of the Q will be connected to the front end of the Q. The same way a circular like a block wheel type structure, the Q will be represented. Is it clear how to implement circular Qs? A basic part, is it cleared for you? Then I will go to the programmatic part. Yes. Hardly some Python students will reply. Next class onwards, I will send link only to that students. Remaining students, you study by the recording videos, I think. Huh? Okay, we'll go to the next part. So here we need to check the conditions. What are the conditions? How do we check the conditions? So void add element. So void is a non-written data type. Add q, that is add q is a function name. Item is a data that what we have to insert it into the queue. So rare is equal to rare plus 1 mod q size. So rare plus 1. So initially consider rare is equal to g minus 1, right? Minus 1 plus 1 will be what? 0. 0 mod maximum q size we have given 8. So anything a modulus to that higher value will be 0, right? So here rare is given 0. Front equal to rare. If front is equal to rare, q is full. Print the error, exit. If not, we will going to insert the data into the queue. When front equal to rare will become, when both the front and rear are equal, at that time the complete queue is full. So in a circular queue, when front and rear at the same position, means equal, when it comes after inserting the data, when it comes equal, at that situation a print error message will be queue is full. This queue full, whatever that I have represented here, is another function. Inside that function, we will going to check the size. So what is that? How do you check the queue empty or queue full? What is the condition to be printed for queue empty or queue full? Go back to the previous class session and check. When we will say queue is full,
Replay fast.
A normal queue only you tell when the queue will be full. Rear equal to front, here I have seen for the circular queue. Normal you tell me, no? Max size minus 1, yes. So there is queue size minus 1. So when it is a queue size minus 1, and that situation, we will going to print the message as queue is full. Okay. So this is about inserting a data into the queue. So this execution, this is the functions I am explaining here. So bitwise, the small functions I am explaining here. Completely execution part during the laboratory session, we have a laboratory program for those. In that session, I will explain the how the program is executed with elements. I'll discuss that. So if the functions is clear, then only we can go for that. Okay. So next is deleting a queue. So how we can delete a data from the queue? How to delete a data from the queue? So element delete queue is a function. So if front equal to rear, return queue empty, that is a return error key. So front is equal to front plus 1 mod queue size. So what we have to do that? Check the condition here. Consider front is a value is equal to 4. Some front value is equal to 4. Max size is equal to 4. Return or max size 5 you take. So return f front is equal to front plus 1, that is a 4 plus 1 5. So 5 mod maximum queue size. What is that? 5 mod maximum queue size I have given 5, right? So that value 0. The consent front value is 0. Then you return that consent front value to that position where the element has to be deleted. The consent element where you are deleting, that consent element will be evaluated in this. Whereas in the normal queue, just we are checking with the queue size, that is whether a front is equal to maximum size when it is reached after all the elements is deleted. When it is a minus 1 condition, that is a negative condition, when it reaches, at the time we are printing directly the queue empty condition, right? So here we are checking with a front condition value of the maximum queue size. Then we are returning that data queue of front. That element will be written from the queue. Okay. Is it clear? This how is it implemented? Simple condition. We need to check with the queue empty. That return queue empty function will contain an underflow of the queue syntax. So once the underflow syntax I already explained in the previous class. So after checking that underflow, if not that, it will go to the next statement that front is equal to front plus 1 max queue size. So a simple example I have taken as a front is equal to 4 as well as with the max queue size. So when it returns to 0, that value will be returned as a that concerned value of that. So q of 0, for example, it is somewhere here the q of 0 is there. So somewhere here q of 0 is there. In that situation, it will going to be returned the value some 50 or 60, some value might be there. So that value will be returned on the output screen. Okay. So is this part is clear? Yes or no? Okay. Fine. So we'll go with the little slowly. So be careful. and listen time to time. Any clarification is there. That's why I've taken additional 2 classes to explain this circular cues only. So any clarification, please reply then and there only, so that it can be completed that concept. Okay, here some major 2 notes have put. Just read out that notes once. So before I proceed to the dynamic arrays, queue using dynamic arrays is there. So before proceeding to that, just have a look into it briefly.
Accept, madam.
Yes. Unmute. Now is it audible? Both the sections? Please check. There was some disturbance in the network here. Confirm me fast.
Yes.
Now echo is resolved, I think. Echo is not there. Is it echoing? No, I think. Yeah. Audible. Fine. See, as per the note what we have here, when Q becomes empty, then front and rear are equal. So when the Q becomes full, front and rear are equal. Audio muted. So audio is muted, I think. Just a minute. ಇದು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್, ಸಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇಂಟರಪ್ಟ್. So it is difficult to distinguish between a empty queue and a full queue. How you will check this? How we will check this? Tell me. So to avoid the resulting confusion, increase the capacity of queue just before it becomes full. Okay. So to avoid this confusion, when front and rear are equal, we will going to use it for both the empty condition as well as for the full condition. In that situation, increase the capacity of queue. Capacity of queue is, that is the maximum size. We need to increase it. Okay, that is about a basic part of the queues what we have done now. So now the same queues using dynamic arrays. Same queues using same circular queues, we have to use dynamic arrays. What are dynamic allocation functions? What are the dynamic allocation functions? What are the dynamic allocation functions? Now it's not echoing, I think. Yes, fast, reply fast. Kellogg, Mellog, and Trelog. Using these dynamic allocation functions, we need to write a circular queues program. Okay, so by using this dynamic allocation functions, we need to create a circular queues. So that is a major part here. Just see here, a dynamically allocated array is used. Just a second. Yeah, a dynamically allocated array is used to hold the queue elements. The capacity be the number of positions in the array of queue. To add an element to a full queue, increase the size using array of function called realloc. Make sure that here not malloc or kellogg. So initially malloc, these functions we have done in the first module. Malloc to allocate the memory, kellogg also to allocate the memory. Text so malloc and kellogg to allocate the memory, whereas realloc, this realloc function what we are using, this realloc function is used to add the element when queue is full. Previous case what I have explained, the circular queue, when the queue is full, that is done. If you want to extend the queue, was not possible over there. So here that possibility we have, that is a dynamically allocated stacks, array doubling is used. So the concept used here is array doubling. So just consider here and below 1. Here, what is the total size we have? Just have a look. Just have a look. What is the total size there? Fast, please. 8, right? So here the size is 8. The total size is 8. So the same array, this is equivalent array, the flattened view of a circular queue. I have represented the figures over there. Please see carefully. A full circular queue, a flattened view of circular queue, as it has to be rotated. So joint queue, this is that I have represented in a flattened wave, so that it will be easy for you to understand. Right here, front is equal to 5, rear is equal to 4. Some example we have taken. So the figure C shows, so reallocation, as I told, reallocation is function realloc we are using. Once if you do that reallocation, the dynamically allocated stacks are doubled. So what is the doubled data here we have? What is the doubled data we have? Yes, make it fast. So I want a parallel reply from you people also. Then only it can be done. What is a doubled? What is the doubled size of a queue now? So here the initial queue, the circular queue, what we had was 8. So when you make it as a doubled queue, the total size will be 16. That 16 blocks will be allocated. If you represent that in a circular fashion, if you represent that in a circular fashion, so the index which starts from 0 here continuously circulated, the final index will be 15. So this is how this completely circular queue will be represented when we are doubling the arrays. Okay, so figure shows that doubling the array using a realloc function. So that is using dynamic allocation. So to get a proper circular queue for configuration, the slide elements in the right segment, that is elements A and B, is the end of array in the figure D we have shown. So the element A and B, the element A and B, what we have represented there in the previous case, that we have to rotate it at the end of the queue. That is a right shift segment, we call it as. That is, after performing a right shift segmenting of the queue, so this is at end of the queue, we will be having like this. So 15th position will be containing B, 14th position of a circular queue will be with A. So the remaining part of the queue, what we have here from 0 to, that is from 5th position of the queue will become completely an empty queue. Okay, so this is about how the circular queues are represented by using dynamic memory allocation, that is dynamic allocating of circular queues. Okay, so is it clear? So only the concept wise I am teaching it today completely. I'll go with the concepts. Once the concepts are completed, then I'll go to the programmatic part. So from 4 to 5 pages of program is there for the circular queues using dynamic arrays. So that I'll try to do it in the board. Will next class. It is Thursday's afternoon class. I will do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's clear, we'll go to the adding the data. So the below program, what we have here is a simple code. You can see this, a simple code to add a circular queue using dynamically allocated memory. So where we are allocating the dynamically memory, the next slide I will show. Add element as usual. We will going to check the rear capacity of the queue. If front is equal to rear, the same case. When the queue is full, when the queue is full, earlier we will be printing a error message. A previous case, you check it out. When the queue is full, have printed that error message. Here we are doubling the capacity. So if you want to make it through dynamical arrays, we have to double the capacity of the given array. So how we are doubling that capacity that I have shown in this code, and check it here. See here the code which is given as per the concept what I explained now. So this is a program completely obtain the configuration which obtains the configuration of the figure E. So gives that code for full, that is Q is full. This function copy ABC copies the elements from the locations A through B minus 1. Okay. So when Q is full, so previous code, just remember, and 4 lines of code, a Q full function is there. So for this Q full function, we are making the doubling the capacity. So for that Q full function here, we are doubling the capacity of the queue using what? Doubling the capacity of queue using what? How do you double the queue capacity? By what concept? Realog. Let me see. Yes. So don't put malloc. That should be realog. Using the realog function, we will going to double the capacity of the queue. Okay. Just have a look onto the code. Just have first 5 6 lines, simple code. Just have a look onto it. Then I'll start. Circular queue with the
So you can see animation how your circular queue works.
Let's just look onto it. How the step-by-step circular queue works. The animated complete video I have shared it now. Just have a look onto it just for 5 minutes. Then I'll teach the programming part. What you have understood from that video? Reply. A simple queue allocation I have explained. A simple video we have shared in the link. What you have understood from that video? I want a brief description. Yes, sir. No, don't want a brief description so that I can go with the next concept there. So I want students to understand the concept. Then only you should do some coding. Then it will be a good. Instead of doing my one-side teachings like a one-way traffic, it will come later. So one-way traffic will not be a good for a teaching process, right? So what you have understood from that a simple video, what I have given it now, insertion and deletion of a circular queue, then Prakriti. Okay, insertion and deletion in circular queue. Have you understood the complete concept there? What about the A section? No reply. A section students, are you there? Only 14 to 15 students are active. What happened? Is the classes boring or what? That's why in between some 5-10 minutes I am giving some programmatic tasks. Yes, elements insertion in a circular queue only done in clockwise direction. Yes, correct. So this section B and C, I think the C section nobody is responding from past so many sessions on this reiteration. One girl is responding. I heard it. That's all. Shreya is also from B, I think so, not from C. C section students, are you there or not? Vivek Sharma, Sarkat Sharma, Vishnuvardhan, Usha Embad. What you understood from that video? I'm asking. Oh, now you put yes. Sarthak, are you active in the class? Are you people are understanding or not simply sitting in the class? Whatever the data that you have learned, circular queues, put it in the message box. Comparison of a circular queue with dynamic array and normal arrays. Okay, so I think Aditya has completed it. What about the remaining students? Out of 86 students, hardly 5 to 10 students are active in this class. Make it fast. Before I continue to the next concept,
Okay, everyone write your US numbers and keep ready. I'll call the attendance. USN 1. Answer attendance. USN 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 33, 34, 35, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Anyone have left out? 33. I've taken one. Okay. You can leave the class.